Hello,
Hi
Jennifer.
there.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Can I just begin our conversation just by saying that I absolutely adore your film. As a fan of crime movies as well, but as a fan of yours, I've grew up watching you and your movies and TV shows. It's so great to see what you've done here with Fresh Kills. And just reading about the film, I read that you said that this movie is your heart. This movie is your everything. And I'm just kind of curious now that the movie is getting its release next week. What's your heart like now? Is it fulfilled? Is it aching? Because sometimes filmmakers, when they have that one film with them for so long, there are conflicting emotions when the film comes out. I'm just wondering where you are at with that.
It's a great question, and thank you. It's tricky because I'm so deeply proud of this film. I really am, and it's taken a very long time to get it made, for many reasons. I think where the ache comes from is that for such a beautiful piece of art, because I do think it is, it just seems like the temperature in our industry, it just, I don't know if it cares anymore about art, and that breaks my heart. That really breaks my heart because all I ever wanted to do was to reach people through art, whether it be acting or filmmaking. So I'm doing that now. I've been in film festivals for a year and it is moving people and touching people. The fight to get this movie to the people has been, I couldn't even begin. So that breaks my heart a little bit. Because I do believe that this film is important for many reasons. Because take the mafia aside, take the fact that yes, I'm the first female that changed the lens of this mafia genre. I'm the first female to direct in this genre, and it's a good movie in that capacity, but it's really more about finding a voice in a world that tells you not to have one. And that is really relating to many audiences, and that is something that I think I've seen it in audiences. They really understand that and feel it, and they talk about it afterwards, and that's what art and movies is supposed to be. And I don't think the audiences are given enough of that, and I feel like it's becoming harder and harder to make a beautiful piece of art. So that's where the pain kind of comes in, the heartbreak.
I think what audience are really looking for and what you yourself as a filmmaker and then on my side as film media trying to really push out there is the authenticity that seems to be lacking so much
Yes.
in films. And when I watch your film, the authenticity kind of reminds me of, well, I wasn't alive then, but from what I first saw it, what Scorsese did with Mean Streets all the way back then, it was that kind of film where it is a mafia film, but it really isn't. It's going to set in the world, but it isn't. It's a personal story for yourself, that personal story begins and ends with Staten Island. And I
Mhm.
read that when you grew up in Staten Island, you couldn't wait to get out, but now you've gone back to film your movie there. So, what type of emotions do you have going back to that place that you wanted to get out of, where you are embarking on an artistic endeavor, which is kind of like being born again within in film because you've done it for so long, but this is like a different avenue of film for you, but done so in a place that's very intimate for you.
Yeah, it was tricky, to be honest. It was very tricky because for most of my young life, it's true. I was dying to get off the island. It felt claustrophobic. I knew that I was supposed to be a wife and a mother, and that was it. And if I strived to do anything else, I was looked at as like, who do you think you are? So I was dying to get off. And then once I got off, and this was the thing in my brain for years, this story. And then when I knew I was doing it and I had to go back, because many of those years in the business I tried to hide where I was from, because where I was from, I was told, wasn't right, wasn't good, wasn't the all American. I wasn't going to get roles speaking like that, looking like that, this. So I tried to hide where I was from. And that, whatever that was also low class or not educated. So all of those things I tried to forget. So to come back was a real healing moment and a very big awakening of like authenticity. You have to be exactly who you are in this business as an artist, because they'll try and remove that from you to make you fit nicely into the box. But that's not who I am. And I had to really understand that. So going back was difficult and beautiful, both at the same time, if that makes sense.
Final question. I've heard you say that this is not the end, but the beginning of this new kind of part of your career and life for you. Now that, and I hope very much so, you will continue to do directing. What lessons do you take from this first go at it? And it's very different circumstances, COVID, a lot of things going on. But what lessons do you take from that circumstance? This movie, Fresh Kills, do you think you would bring to the next one that you didn't have the foresight of beforehand?
Well, I mean, this was like a masterclass in filmmaking, in business, and producing, in everything. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot of what not to do's. I've learned a lot of must-haves. And any hole that you could fall in a movie, we fell in it. So, and the fact that this is even still alive is quite incredible. So I just have so much more knowledge going in. And what I like is, like, we didn't have anybody helping us. So I now know not only the filmmaking part, I know funding, I know self-funding, I know distribution, I know marketing. Like, I know all these new things that'll only help me in the future. So I just know that I could never do this road again, because this has been 6 years of a journey that I don't know how I'm still standing, to be quite honest. It's been really difficult.
Well, not only are you standing, you are flourishing. And I think this film, Fresh Kills, is just, it's amazing. It's one of my favorite films that I've seen this year. And I can't wait for
Oh,
other people to see it. And I just want to say
beautiful.
congratulations to you. It's a great achievement, here. And thank you for your
Thank
time as
you.
well.
Thank you, Matthew. I appreciate it.
Thank you for watching the Matt's Movie Reviews channel. Please subscribe for more reviews, podcast interviews, and exclusive content.